Really shows off the gray. Hey plant nerds, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we'd go a little vlog style and I would show you a tour of my office at work, or more specifically the plants I have at my office at work. I had a different idea for this week's video, however I threw my back out this last weekend and I have been unable to move easily. If any of you deal with back issues, you will understand my pain. It is awful, and I do not wish it on anyone. I used to have my own office at work. It was an interior office. I didn't really care about plants then. I did buy one plant, a Dracaena, or what can be referred to as the corn plant. It's not that exciting to anyone who lives in the Midwest because literally we're surrounded by corn. So this plant, even though it's big and beautiful and healthy, I hate it. So I was given the option to share an office, and I took it because the office I get to share has a giant window that is unobstructed from anything, and it just lets in light, and I could have my plants here and we could all be happy at work together. Alright, the first plant we come up to in my office is this red Aglaonema, or a Chinese evergreen. This plant is doing super well on my desk. It's about 5 feet from a window. You can see there's a new leaf forming right there. The only light it really gets all the time is this fluorescent lighting in my office, and it is still doing really well. Up here on the wall in this macrame pocket that I made is my Cebu Blue Pothos. I found this thing at Lowe's, and man was I excited. The foliage on this pothos is just striking. You have this like shimmery blue. As these plants mature and age, if you give them something to climb on, these leaves will actually get darker and more green. The plant completely changes its appearance and also develops splits in these leaves, almost like a monstera. Then over here on my cubicle wall, I have this rack that's hung up with over the door hooks, and on this top shelf right here I have my Philodendron Brazil. This plant has such striking foliage too, and it grows perfect in this north facing window, and you can kind of see it's trailing up over and reaching up over the cubicle there. Next to the Philodendron Brazil is 2 Hoya cuttings, Hoya carnosa cuttings that I took from home, and I put this makeshift trellis in there to just get them to climb. You can see it's growing some new leaves out there. Down here you have the Pothos Enjoy, or the Pearls and Jade. Still not sure. Never can find any information one way or the other, so I'm just going to call it an Enjoy. Another really easy plant to take care of. Pothos aren't too finicky. Let them dry out, then give them some water. The leaves on this Pothos Enjoy will get really flimsy. It's a little bit of a dramatic plant, so you really always know when it needs water. Down here you have the Sansevieria starfish, or Bonchel. This thing was only 2 of these arms, and I brought it here. I cut it off the mother plant, and it has grown 3 arms so far. Next to that is the Calathea macoyana. This one, to me, has been one of the hardier calatheas to care for. It doesn't have too many burnt tips, and I still just water it with tap water, and it seems super happy in this northern light. Next to that I have my 2 spider plants. I've received these cuttings from a coworker. I'm planning on putting those in the same pot in the spring. I love this spider plant, so I'm excited. And then over here is a pilea leaf that I've been propagating. You can kind of see another plant is growing out the bottom. I haven't had a ton of luck with pileas and propagating from a leaf. This one, however, I took a cutting with a little bit of stem, and it definitely did the trick. You can see that plant growing down there, so I'm going to leave it in water for a bit longer before I transplant it into soil. Below that, you have my Hoya curtisii. I am propagating. I cut that off the mother plant and they seem to be doing fine in this soil. There's a couple new leaf buds forming at the end of those vines, so I'm excited to get another plant of that. We have another Hoya carnosa cutting that I am propagating on a small little makeshift trellis. Coming back here is some Marimo moss balls that I got from Horty on one of the subscriptions. In front here is my Calathea White Fusion. I love this plant. The leaves, the foliage on this are just beautiful. This one has been a struggle for me because I did not give it the right humidity when I first got it, so it got a little crispy. The new leaves that it's producing have been fine. These three right here are brand new. They all are staying healthy. But I also bought this little tiny desk humidifier that plugs into my USB port to hopefully make the Calathea more happy. Next to the Calathea is my ponytail palm I received from my sister as a gift. This is a Guatemalan red ponytail palm, I believe. It's an interesting plant and acts more like a succulent. This part of the trunk stores water, and so you can kind of tell when it needs water because that will shrivel up or you'll see more wrinkles in that, and then you just give it a drink and it'll fill out. Right next to that is my Wardian case that I built. If you guys have not seen that video, I will put a link to it. And this is just full of peperomias. I have my peperomia frost that I propagated, the parallel peperomia there, the green ripple or the emerald ripple, and then also the ruby ripple there. And they seem to be very happy in this case with this northern exposure. And then next to that is this Calathea Maui Queen. She is not super happy. A lot of this is my fault. Humidity is an issue. I do not water her with distilled water because, I mean, who has time for that at work? But I don't mind the crispy leaves, but literally every single one of these leaves is crispy. She's still pretty. And then down here on the windowsill, I do have a couple of baby pileas that I was propagating, but I think I took them too soon. They're not doing so hot. This one really has a lot of red on all the leaves. Right up here we have the red prayer plant. This guy has a little bit of a drought stress. I didn't water it for a while. You can kind of see the newer leaves are a little bit wonky. It does have some new growth kind of coming in, but the rest of it looks pretty. This thing has flowered probably the past 6 months. There's flower spikes that will keep randomly shooting out of it, which is always really exciting to see. So that does tell me that it's kind of happy. Alright guys, that is it. That is the tour of the plants in my office at work. A couple of my coworkers have now started adopting some of my plants. I have given a couple peperomias. You know me and peperomias. A few of my coworkers have actually subscribed to the Horty subscription after they saw me getting my plants. I do have them delivered to work just so they're not sitting outside. So you just gotta spread the love with plants. I've made it a little bit a mission of mine to bring joy to people through plants. So it makes me excited to see people want to have plants on their desks or in their offices to take care of. Plants make people happy. Alright guys, that is the video for today. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Thanks for watching.